Hello everyone, this is Colin on the ASCA League channel, and here we are for the finale, the last race of the Pennzoil Pro Series, race 24 here at Armory Digital. Just like last year, we come in here with 4 drivers left to make an impact on the championship and earn their names in history. Here are those 4 drivers wanting to win the championship and become one of the coveted few to win a Pennzoil Pro Series Cup championship. Derek Petrie, Michael Jones, Webster Zygarde, and Jay Barker all will be running all 48 laps to try and put their name in the history books and get the championship. None of them have won it before. We're going to have to see who gets their first championship here today. Last year's winner, Ryan Dunn, starts on the front row with Kyle Singer to his outside. Row 2, Rick Witt just barely missed the championship 4, and Brian Boone to his outside. Row 3, Jack Newman in an incredible start by Carson Scott for his final start in the series. Row 4, Daniel Voiles out coming off a good run last week, and Kyle Collins to his outside. Row 5, Brian Lenning and Tyler Selspin also making his final start in the series, as he'll be leaving next season. Row 6, Aaron Lukes, and last year's champion Jay Durrel no longer eligible. Row 7, Cody Russell and Blaine Keys, 2 past chasers who have been eliminated. And our first chasers, teammates, Row 8, Derek Petrie and Webster Zygarde. Row 9, Addison Steinbeck and Stuart Gratton for HOFFMAN Motorsports. Row 10, Arsha Sain and Zach Kamoski looking for some turnaround luck, both of those drivers at the end of the season. Row 11, Brock McMahon in the 08, and Michael Jones, the other chaser who was outside. And the final chase in the grid, Jay Barker and Zach Cars will start to his outside. That was row 12. Row 13, Cole Baker, your presumably Rookie of the Year, and Nicholas Samudio. Row 14, Cesar Chavez and Joseph Strigley, Double T Motorsports teammates. Row 15, Allison Davidson looking to gain on Cole Baker's points lead, and Ryan Kendall. Row 16, Eric Willis and John Gilbert for HOFFMAN Motorsports. Row 17, Malley Motorsports' Sam Rogers coming back next season, and Nikita Riskov. Row 18, another pair of Double T Motorsports teammates, Jose Viquez and Dion Scott. Row 19, another pair of rookies, William Brock and Ruby Easton for Overdrive Motorsports. Row 20, 2 strong drivers in the back, Nick Purcell and Matthew Brown. Look for them to make their way up. And row 21, James Johnson coming off a hot streak, and Daniel Maxwell. Here are the people that did not qualify for the race, and we are getting set to go green. 48 laps here at the Superspeedway. Pace car's off, green flag is in the air, and here we go racing at Armory Digital. The intensity is building up already as we see a change for the lead. Kyle Singer is going to go around the 96 of Ryan Dunn. Just managed to get a better restart, and Dunn was left hanging. And now he's going to fall to the outside. Rick Witt is going to come on the inside now of Ryan Dunn. And following him is his teammate, Daniel Voiles. Now this is a super speedway race, and we can't stress enough that these guys are going to be running in a high-intensity pack. Anything can happen in this situation, and it definitely can. We saw last year Derek Petrie and Cody Russell both wrecked out in a wreck at the beginning of the race. Can that happen again with one of our chasers? You never know. With these kind of races, super speedways tend to bring the uncertainty factor, and obviously Derek Petrie, you see here, does not want that to happen again. Petrie was wrecked out in a wreck with his teammate Cody Russell. Russell came into the race first in points, however he left last. Definitely does not want that to happen again, or at least Derek Petrie doesn't. Cody Russell's not eligible this time. But as we look in the back, you saw Derek Petrie up front. Here are the other 3 chasers, all kind of mired back around the same position. Jay Barker, Webster Zygarde, and Michael Jones. Michael Jones happens to be the only Dodge competitor in the Championship 4. In fact, Dodge happens to be the only car company besides Chevy in the Final 4. Chevy has 3 cars, and Dodge has 1, so Chevy has the advantage here. But obviously Dodge wants Michael Jones to try to get after it and get that championship. Dodge is currently the reigning champion with Jay Durrel, who is not eligible anymore. However, they might have a chance with Michael Jones running aboard Ryan Dunn, your pole sitter. He's falling back now on the outside line. On the outside line has shown some incredible speed coming off of the corners. However, it just can't keep him going through the corners, and that really leads to what you see happening right now the outside line falling back. So if you're at the front of the field, you can use the outside to your advantage and get in front of someone going down the straightaways. But if you're in the back of the pack, the outside line will only send you straight to the tail end of the field without much hope, unless you can somehow get to the inside like you see Eric Willis doing right there. Or he tried at least. William Brock was there to fill the gap. But how about William Brock? William Brock is doing an amazing job in this 15 car as he's making his way through the field. Brock recently signing on to a new team coming to the Pennzoil Pro Series, Smart Motorsports, as well as Daniel Voiles, who has been confirmed to be departing with Red Viper Racing. Those two drivers will field 2 full-time rides for Smart Motorsports, making their debut in the Pro Series. However, let's not take our gaze away from the front of the field. Derek Petrie had the lead for a moment, and now Brock McMahon is going to steal it away. But as you see, that outside line is coming into play a little bit. Petrie moving back on the outside. But as they go into the corner, Brock will extend his lead out, and he will complete the pass now. Cesar Chavez coming in on the inside in that 03 car. Be sure to look out for him. He's your Martinsville winner from earlier in the year, and has had just an incredible chase season so far, despite missing it by only a few points. Cesar Chavez definitely could have had a shot at winning the championship if he had only made the championship 20 at least going into the championship 4. Here's Cole Baker. We got to talk about our Rookie of the Year point standings. Even though it is pretty much a runaway victory right now for Cole Baker, it is not yet confirmed. Allison Davidson still statistically has the slightest of chances. But as of now, Cole Baker making the race should be enough for him to get into the position to win the championship for the Rookie of the Years at least. Baker, however, ironically enough, will not be back next season as he is departing from the ASCA League channel to do other racing incidences. So we're wishing Cole Baker good luck on whatever he's going off to do. However, for now, he's trying to wrap up his ASCA League season with a championship in the Rookie of the Year. Looking at Jay Barker, though. Oh, someone's off to the inside line. I could not tell what was, and they're coming back up onto the track. Jay Barker's going to get turned. And look out! I think he's going to make it through. He's going to go on his roof. And without any contact, Jay Barker has rolled the car. And that is horrible for Jay Barker. One of the cars involved was Eric Willis as he got shot off to the grass. And there was nothing he could do as he came back on the track. The other car involved was the 15 of William Brock in the Under Armour Chevrolet. An unbelievable incident as that could have been super big, but I'm gonna call it that it only involved 3 or 4 cars. And we're gonna take a replay of this. There's Jay Barker on the outside as he's gonna be the one to get the worst of this. But as you see, Willis and Brock just are gonna get together ever so slightly. Oh, you see Boone got a little bit of damage. But as Barker comes down the track, and he's just gonna roll the car just hitting the banking. And wow, that's such a shame. He got a little nip from Ryan Kendall, which almost helped him stay right side up. But that's not going to change as Barker was able to end up on his roof to ride on board Ruby Easton. Now hold your breath for this one, because this is close. Right in front and right back across. Easton got a good look at that one. And as you see, Barker's going to get the worst of that, sliding back down the track. And just because of the elevation change, Barker, once he hit the inside of the track, it was enough to knock his car over. But if that wasn't miraculous enough, Barker is going to attempt to continue this race as he is going to drive out of the pits. He didn't sustain too much damage, and he's going to try to give it a try. Because obviously this is Armory Digital, and anything can happen. Barker came in here 14 points back. That was a margin that seemed like he would have to finish above a bunch of his fellow Chase competitors. Obviously that was the case, but right now he's just going to have to go out in the track and hope and pray that his Chase competitors fail or wreck in front of him, because that seems like it's the only possible way for him to win the championship as of now. So realistically, we may be down to 3 chasers left: Petrie, Jones, and Zygarde. 66% of that front 3 happen to be Big Motorsports teammates. Webster, Zygarde, and Derek Petrie looking to try to take one home for Big Motorsports, arguably one of the most predominant teams in the league, and definitely they have been one of the greatest so far with a powerhouse organization like them, it is surprising that they did not win one of the championships from seasons 1 or 2. Definitely competitors though for this one. But how about Ruby Easton? Overdrive Motorsports. That's a team that nobody heard of two races ago. But they have been making a name for themselves. Look at this, 4 wide going down into turn 1, but that's kind of average here at Armory Digital. But Overdrive Motorsports, with James Johnson in the 75, they got a 2nd place and then a 15th at Phoenix. That is incredible results from that small team. And now Ruby Easton is only backing that up with a top 5 run right now and was leading the race. So Overdrive Motorsports really showing some strength here at the end of the year from both of their drivers. And it seems like Addison Steinbeck is off the pace, and he definitely is. He looks like he has some front-end damage. Not sure where that came from. We're going to go back to pit stops to see what we can find. And, oh! Well, looks like Newman was slowing up for traffic. John Gilbert's going to run into Newman, and I'm going to say that Srigley just basically ran over Jack Newman. Not the first time we've seen Srigley kind of do something stupid like that, but is confirmed to be off the team next season. As you see, Addison Steinbeck got some front-end damage in the stack-up behind. So that's a shame for him, as he's having a pretty good run, running up inside the top 20 most of the race. As we see Webster Zygarde in the PNG Chevrolet riding on board with him, you can see the intensity that just goes on in one of these packs. As he's riding in the middle of it, he has cars to his outside and to his inside. Zach Komoski, you see right in front of him. Komoski, one of the greats at Superspeedway racing, got an upset victory when he was in the 81 Toyota for at the time Switchback Racing, or excuse me, Reloaded Racing. I thought that sounded wrong. He was at Reloaded Racing for the 81 Toyota, so excuse me there. Now he's racing at Team SFR, an organization that combined Reloaded Racing with Switchback Racing. My mistake. Anyways, we have a battle for the lead. The 22 cars out front, with Cesar Chavez coming in on the inside. Chavez trying to get 7 top 10s in just 8 races. Probably one of the greatest stints we've seen in recent memory, I would have to say. I mean, I would argue that Jay Durrel probably had something better going in his Season 2 bid, because his 6 wins were pretty incredible that year. But Cesar Chavez has definitely come close to that with 7 top 10s out of 8, and the only top 10 he missed was last week at Phoenix when he was wrecked out by, guess who, Joseph Srigley. So I'm not really surprised he's leaving, but for Cesar Chavez, definitely an excuse to see why he did not get that last top 10, but definitely remarkable performance out of him. Expecting great things for him next season, as we see Cody Russell going on the inside of Daniel Voiles, making it 4 wide. Russell was one of your chasers last year. Not anymore. As we see, we have a car going down pit road. Looks like Allison Davidson splitting off from the group all by herself. This does not appear to be a scheduled pit stop, though, so we're going to have to see exactly what she decides to do. She actually seems like she has a bit of right side damage, perhaps from coming off a pit road. I am unsure of that. But definitely unscheduled and out of sequence with most of the other drivers on the track. The 68 car of Rick Witt, you see, missed the chase last week after he came home a measly 16th position. Not enough to get him into the championship 4, but having a pretty solid run here today. The field is going to encounter its first lap car, and it's going to be Kyle Collins, who had to make an unscheduled pit stop under green. While he's not actually slower than anyone else on the track, the fact that he was not running in the draft was enough to have him be caught at such a rate as these drivers have. But as you see, as he falls into the group, he picks up speed pretty much, and he's just going to fall in line and run with the leaders. Just a lap down, though. As you see, Zach Komoski was able to take advantage of that and pull out to the lead. And the lead, though, obviously gets swapped multiple times a lap, as you see Cody Russell coming. I was going to say with help from Derek Petrie, but Petrie's going to move up to the middle of the groove to try to take advantage of it. Obviously, the lead, though, changes very quickly and very many times during the race. Now, we have a group back here that I would like to point out. This group actually is trailing the group that we were just looking at, and we haven't mentioned them yet, but they have fallen off quite far, and it had some pretty good drivers in. I see Aaron Lukes and Jay Durrell. but this group fell off because of Jay Barker, if you remember back on the restart, when he was pretty much splitting up the field. He pretty much tore that part of the field off, and now they are slacking at the back of the pack. As we see though, Barker, it did not take him too long to find the main group again, and he, unlike Kyle Collins, is definitely going to make it hard for everyone, as he is going to hold up the middle and the outside lane. However, at this track where cars take up every inch of it, it is reasonable that you can say that he is going to hold up some drivers. On the right side of the screen, you saw your mid-race report flash on the screen for just a moment to see where everyone is running at this point in the race. But Jay Barker, you see, is just decimating that perfect field. As you see, everyone trying to get through as best they can. I saw Derek Petrie getting held up the worst there. That's a chaser. Definitely not what he wanted to see, as he was running up towards the front of the pack. Michael Jones is going to get out into the lead for the first time today. And Michael Jones is going to sniff that fresh air. Obviously, fresh air does come in handy at some points, but with such a good run coming from behind from some of these drivers, it's definitely possible that he can get past going down the back stretch. But we have a car slow on the inside of the track. It's Cesar Chavez, and it looks like we have a problem for that car. And that's such a shame, because we were just talking about it earlier, trying to go for 7 out of 8 races and getting a top 10. And with the rate he's going down on the inside of the track, it does not look like he's going to get lucky here today and get that 7th top 10. As we see, though, the field has been split up even more. This is the back part of the group. Ryan Dunn is leading this pack. So now we have 3 distinct packs on the track. Derek Petrie obviously is one of the most influential drivers of this pack, as he is racing in this group while his 2 chase competitors are up in front of him. Now, Derek Petrie comes into this race as the points leader with a 6-point gap over Michael Jones. But that's nothing if you consider the points equation. Up at the front of the field, you could end up earning 3 points just for 1 position. So definitely Derek Petrie running in the second group is not going to do him any favors. But as you see, Cesar Chavez has made his way back on the track, but I'm not entirely sure why they didn't just retire this car, because he is running a slower lap time than Jay Barker right now. The ASCA League officials are advising Chavez to pull that car back down pit road and find out exactly why that car is going so slow, or just take it off the track permanently. But as we see, Derek Petrie is coming down pit road. Oh boy, and I actually see a car up there in front of him. I think that is Zach Komoski. And Komoski, I don't know exactly. That might not have been Komoski, as I saw his name on the top 3 above. But 2 cars coming down pit road. And then the next time by, we see 2 more cars peeling off. So apparently we are going to see green flag pit stops here at lap 30. Ruby Easton, Blaine Keys, and the rookie Carson Scott having a remarkable day today. Doing very well, as they're going to be the first drivers to come down pit road. Michael Jones, all alone, is going to be the next driver to come down on lap 31. However, that appears to be it. 2 more laps have gone by, and we have not seen anyone else come down pit road. As you see, this is the front pack. The fuel strategy was expected to be around 34 laps, so in 1 lap, those were some really early pit stops to see, but apparently we have some drivers trying to play the fuel strategy game and maybe use the fresh tires that they get on the pit stops to their advantage and try to stretch it out. Maybe make up some time under green. But as you see, in the next 4 laps, driver after driver peels off the track and comes in. And finally, Brock McMahon and Daniel Voiles are the last 2 drivers to stay out, and they will come down. With 6 laps to go, though, we have a small group of cars out front, though, racing for the lead. Zach Komoski to the inside, Nick Purcell's to the outside, as well as Brock McMahon and 2 chasers, Webster Zygarde and Michael Jones. You actually see there's a maroon car back there. That's Addison Steinbach, if you remember back to earlier in the race. He is off the pace because of that earlier damage he sustained coming out of pit stops. So he is just running with the group. However, he has no complication on how these drivers are running in the running order, at least. We have a few drivers that are going to have a problem with at the end of the race. You see Blaine Keys coasting it down pit road. Something's wrong under the hood there. And Nicholas Sumidio, they can't get that car fired, and he is stuck on pit road. trying to fix that problem. However, them aside, we have a 5-car battle for the win. As we see 2 laps to go on the race, every other driver is out of the equation unless a caution comes out. Or actually, if we see a caution come out, that will be the race, and Zach Komoski will win. However, obviously we are still green, and Webster Zygarde still has a chance. Now, under the points terms, this is a very intense situation, as Webster Zygarde is 11 points back off of Derek Petrie, and Michael Jones is only 6. That's a 5-point gap between Webster Zygarde and Michael Jones. And how the points work: the first driver earns 55 points, the second earns 52, the third earns 50, and the fourth earns 48, and the fifth earns 46. So as it stands, that's a 2-point gap up until the first 2 spots, which is a 3-point gap. And 5 points can be easily drained in less than 2 spots at some points. So obviously, as we see these drivers come around for the final time, Webster Zygarde has to at least keep a 2 or 3 car gap on Michael Jones in order to win this championship. But there goes Brock McMahon underneath him. Nick Purcell's on the inside as well. That is exactly what Michael Jones wants to see. But you know who wants to see this? Zach Komoski leading the race, coming off of the corner. Checkered flag is in the air, and Zach Komoski is going to go back to victory lane after being winless since Season 2, Daytona 500, and a long dry spell for Komoski ends. But for your championship battle, Webster Zygarde is going to finish 3rd, and Michael Jones 5th. I believe that is enough for Michael Jones to hold on to his spot and win the championship. But it's going to be close. We're going to have to see the official results to see if that's what the officials agree with. But as of my calculations, I don't believe Webster Zygarde was able to get enough points to win the championship. As we see, Zach Komoski is going to do burnouts and celebrating his Armory Digital win. And a great way to wrap up his season. But as we see, Cole Baker is going to do burnouts in the grass as Hoffman Motorsports will win the 2016 Pennzoil Pro Series Rookie of the Year. Congratulations for Cole Baker. But here's the moment of truth. Michael Jones is your 2016 Pennzoil Pro Series champion. And Jones is going to go around the track backwards, saluting the crowd. And his name will be written in the record books next to Jay Durrel and Jake Booker as champions of the Pennzoil Pro Series. And he is going to bring his car down pit road, into the garage, and on victory lane, high above the track. And Michael Jones has won your championship. And it was a hard battle indeed, right to the end. Webster Zygarde was on his heels the entire time, but he was not able to get enough points. If Webster Zygarde had finished 2nd place in front of Brock McMahon, we would have a different Chase Championship winner right now. But obviously, again, Zach Komoski winner. Great job for him. Cole Baker also finishing 8th will wrap him up with the Rookie of the Year championship. You also saw Derek Petrie will finish 16th, and that will not be enough to win him the championship. Jay Barker 3 laps down after rolling on his hood. If that not had happened, we might have seen a different championship winner. As you see, Michael Jones, though, with 1 point over Webster Zygarde, will be your Season 3 champion. Petrie will finish 3rd, and Barker, 50 points back, will finish 4th. It was a great championship season all year long. 24 races led up to this one moment, and Michael Jones was able to outlast them all and capture the championship. And so I say goodbye until next season, where the Pennzoil Pro Series will rejoin you all for Season 4. Thank you all so much for watching, and see you all next season.